footy, talk footy. War talk, Ricky hardcore, core dying. See the ball flying, both teams all lying. It's 5-1, come on guys, run, wait, can I sky some?
We talk footy on the phone, peace to Dave. I display this poem, ceremonial accolades are the ways of gold. Welcome to Talk Footy. This is FutiTalk, the home of community football. At Talk Footy, we talk about football and life. The name itself derives from the words of Mike's, who is a member of the FutiTalk family, where he says, FutiTalk, talk footy. And then in the first verse of the second FutiTalk anthem, I, Silas Zephania, say, we talk footy on the phone. So yeah, I'm here with T.J, I'm here with Hosea, FutiTalk family members. And for those of you who aren't familiar with what FutiTalk is, it's an inclusive game that we organize weekly, inviting men, women, adults, children to play the beautiful game and to extract human principles and disseminate those principles throughout the playing systems of the game in order to inspire cohesion. We also have a chat forum where we unite and share words about life and football. And today's Talk Footy, which is the launch of another appendage to this wonderful program, project, movement, and social change adventure, is going to definitely inspire you to rethink what can be possible in communities. We can come together, we can unite. So today, I'm going to ask my brothers to introduce themselves before I present the question for this show. So T.J, tell the people a bit about yourself.
Cool. Yep, my name's T.J, and I just support the London team. That's all I can say, man.
We'll
I'm much for years since they're born in the 80s. And yeah, just a fervent football fan, man.
That's it. Talk to the people. Introduce yourself.
I'm Jose in Tabora, and I love football. That's why I'm here.
Fantastic, fantastic. All right, so we're going to open up with a wonderful introductory question. Why the beautiful game? Why did you draw close to the sport that we are still talking about? Why did you, Jose, come into contact with this sport that, as I've just said, still appeals to you in your adult body? So, yeah, let me start with you, TJ. Take us back to the earliest memories of the sport. Who inspired you to play? Tell us about the team that you support, and any other memories that just enter the eyes of your thinking when you think about, your entry into this this game of ours.
That's not where I start. All right, so first of all, like I said, I'd like to think that I think football chose us, man. I don't think we choose it, to be fair. Do you know what I'm saying?
That's the bar right there.
That's
the bar right there.
Why are you speaking my line?
Nah, it's the truth, innit? Is, as kids, we just start, we play it. We play it with our friends. We play it at school. It's inbred in us, there's time I remember being in class and you're just thinking about break. And you're thinking, can't wait to play football. And if you was on the losing team, you're like, all right, next break. And then you're thinking about, all right, same teams, man. We're going to box you up at lunchtime, brother. And all that, it's it's the competitiveness. And I think it's, as a child, as a young man, it's your first kind of delvers into like manhood and competitiveness, and you kind of becoming independent and expressing and being yourself, and that's what football allows you to do that. Definitely it chose us, and we just we live it and we breathe it, man. So
I really like the way you unpacked your answer, and I liked what you said when you talked about school days. Looking back, I think throughout my childhood, attending primary and secondary school, football was central to my motivation for attending school.
It was life.
You know what I'm saying? We played football before the bell started to ring, and that's all we thought of in the classrooms. As you said, playtime. We were home late because we were kicking ball, and before we got in our yard, we were kicking it downstairs. So it made up so much of our childhood experiences.
Definitely.
Fantastic.
Definitely.
Jose, talk to us about your formative years. How did you establish a relationship with the beautiful game?
Man, every time I think about football, it's freedom. Do you know what I mean? That's where it takes me.
Freedom.
It's freedom because, like, I was born in Uganda, and I grew like in my childhood. We didn't have video games. Football was the video game.
Okay.
Football was the video game. Was real life. That was it for me.
It's
Even
another
today,
bar right
I
there.
don't do video games because it was live.
A
do you know
video
what I mean?
game that we are in.
Exactly. So,
Yeah.
and to be honest with you, I thought I was gonna be a professional footballer. Like I was gonna play football.
Well, that footy talk you are. You know what I mean? I see your skills.
Do you know what I mean? But to me, football is freedom. Like
Beautiful. Every time you say it.
Yeah, it's my childhood. Like I have good memories because I used to get out.
Football carried
to go
us.
play football. Like as you say, like going into school, you play before and you play after. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, we used to create the actual balls to do the actual balls to go to play.
Do
you know what I mean? You couldn't even.
That's the essence.
Exactly. So we used to make like I had a friend, a childhood friend, who would come to my house, and I think my mom didn't like him because he knew he turns up like at 8 in the morning. We're out. We put together the ball, and then by 10, we out. Do you know what I mean? You know them little kids you see holding the ball, no shirts?
Yeah.
We're going to play football. So we play till midday. It gets really hot out there. Go back home, have some food. I'm telling you, by 3-4, we're back.
Back out.
Until late. And then you come back sneaking in because thinking you might get some.
Yeah.
But that was for me, man.
Yep.
That's why I say when I think about football, it's freedom.
Fantastic.
And I think it's a lifestyle for me. Do you know what I mean? It's a lifestyle.
It's another line.
And at that time, without football, there was not me.
Yeah. Bro, that's deep, man. Trust, I'd even like to add on to that. Even like you say, making your own football is like, it helps so much because I remember the time sometimes, you know, your ball would fly away somewhere. Remember we had the garage flyaway balls and all that. Or like someone with the kid with the ball didn't turn up, got grounded, or like couldn't bring it to school. I remember we used to get cans, just crush the cans, and we'd play with the cans, bro. And, you know, you'd make something stoned, whatever, man. You could just like, you know, tennis balls if something was a tennis ball, you just like you do anything, man, just to kick that ball, man, and just to, you know.
And
it's just play.
No, definitely. And I think that as a child, in terms of like playing the game, because I remember they used to, you know, with milk, you get delivering bottles and all that out there. They used to be in these little pints. And what we used to do, when you get the milk, we would save those pints. And those are the ones that stop. To create so you can put air in it, put a little rubber on it, and then start putting things around it, and it starts coming. Do you know what I mean? So that way it can fly, it can come back, you can do everything with it. And every time I remember, you're like, I want to go back, man. Those are the days where you didn't think about anything. Like, it was just freedom, man.
And that's what I love about the football experience. You don't have to have money. You don't need a lot of resources to access the beautiful game. Why the beautiful game? Because it shows us. Why the beautiful game? Because it is freedom. In the first FutiTalk anthem, as I said, the second FutiTalk anthem, these are two songs that I wrote. I'm a hip hop artist. Just explaining what football is to me, what FutiTalk as a family is to me. And that's where we get the name Talk Footy for this show. In the first song, in the chorus, I say, come and see a dream. FutiTalk is the thoughts of the free. Because football literally is freedom. And going back to what you were saying about childhood years, I definitely think that football enabled us as children to help us manage, explain, and interpret our emotions.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you're growing up in a world, peer pressure, academic objectives, parental guidance. You're trying to find yourself, and football just gave you an avenue to express yourself.
Oh, yes.
You could dance, you could cry, you could shout, you could scream, and it was okay within the confines of the football world, and it was a release. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And I like the emotional, the social and emotional reasons to interact with the sport.
You took my line there, emotional, man. Because I feel like there's nothing that can bring people together emotionally. like the beautiful game.
Of course, bro. And yeah,
Family.
You always had like different characters. The quiet one, you'd always have the mad one that would like
That
he
wanna
would
take you out
tackle
all the-
and slide on
Why?
concrete. Why are you sliding on concrete for?
And that was
Scraping
my
yourself
older
up,
brother.
bro?
He used to kick my legs.
Oof. Yeah. And even I remember just like, sometimes when you like, even because everyone play for it's like. Sometimes you play with like the older lot, and they're like, "We're gonna teach you a lesson,
Exactly.
bruv. We're gonna man you up a bit,
Yeah,
man." And it's life, it's bonding, bruv. It's manhood.
Football
it's
raised
everything.
us.
Yeah, bruv. And it's a shame we don't. Like I was saying to you earlier, man. Before, like, you don't really see kids out in the street now. Like today, it's a beautiful hot day, man. On my way up, man, passing all these streets, I'm seeing no one in there. No one in there. Like, no kids playing ball, no doing nothing, bro. Do you know what I mean? And it's a shame, bro. Do you know what I mean?
When I walked in, that's what we're talking about earlier, about, like, that's true. I've thought about the way you've seen it. Like, you don't see kids playing ball in the park anymore. Do you know what I mean? Once in a while, when you're going to get to these proper, like, little football schools that are out there with and all that. But you don't see kids kicking the ball to the wall. You don't see kids kick.
When the curb used to use the curb as goals and all that,
And,
We would be
like, you get
enthusiastic
back,
about
your
that
shoes
process.
are done. Like,
not even good. I got heartbreak,
You get links for
man.
that.
My mum, right? She, like, obviously we all like poor man, so. Like all year she saved up, man, and she got me these like Nike 180s. And I don't know if you remember the advert, The advert would come and like it'd be the guy running, and the foot would go down, and then like the air bubble would light up and everything. And you're like, I wanted them trainers so bad,
Just
man.
to do that.
Because I thought it'd light up, innit? Definitely up, but
The mind of a child.
But they were fresh. They looked dope. This like white. It was white, blue, and like the infrared kind of pink kind of color. So yeah, she got me them. I took them to school and then played football. Bust up, the thing ripped up, got a hole in it the first day, man. But you're like, you get a little scuff. You're like, the trainers on the bar. Then I was a madman. I was played football in it. And like it just like it ripped. Got a hole in it from the football, man. And I was scared to go home that day, man. And now, but it's the game, innit? We play football. It's just
but
natural,
kids
innit?
don't think about it now because you can walk in a shop because you got options. They can buy any football boots. Do you know what I mean? My first football, like, I had to save up because my dad and mom, they were not buying me football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they were not, education, able to be a doctor. None of that. Do you know what I mean? And I remember, man, I had a piggy bank, man. I saved up months to get my football boots, man.
Oh, dude.
And listen, when I got them boots, do you know what I mean?
Memory lane.
Yeah. So it's
The first pair of football boots.
I got them boots, The white kept those boots. You think they never played football before?
But I love the way your first pair of football boots made you feel. You felt as if you were a professional.
Yeah.
Like you graduated. In Zimbabwe, that's where I'm from.
Yeah.
When I bought my first pair of football boots, or when, football boots were purchased for me, I walked with them everywhere.
Yeah.
Bruv, my mom went into the city centre to do some shopping. I was wearing them.
Jeez.
You know what I'm saying? So I didn't want to put on my trainers. I wanted to wear them. I remember my auntie laughing at me like, "What are you doing?" You know what I'm saying? I felt proud. I felt official. You know what I'm saying? So
Mine, I used to wear them around my neck. Like, them things,
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey, well.
And then it takes you into another area of thought that leads you down this understanding that football was very similar to the way children look at superheroes.
Oh, yes.
Or associate Wolverine and Spider-Man with their armor and their colors. So the footballers and their footwear, the colors that they adorned, literally ushered you into this visual experience that you wanted to be a part of. Because of Diego Maradona, I was transfixed when I'd look at that blue and white tee. Because of Roger Miller and what the Cameroon team did in 1990. That green tee, the red shorts, and those yellow socks. became a color combination that I,
underneath the arm as well.
that I would
It's
beautiful.
And the dance as well, man.
I would emulate those colors.
Yeah, everybody was doing
Everyone's
that.
doing that.
Everybody was doing that, bro.
You know,
Every kid was doing that.
Go
Go in
back
the
to
little
school, I'm
corner.
gonna score,
Yeah.
so football is this emotional experience that helps us
Yeah.
to project who we are, and then it's this visual experience that we want to walk into.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly, man.
It's like, just even to add on to that, like you said, it's the kid, it's the imagination. Like, you know, as kids, we wear the whole kit. You know what I'm saying? Like if you could,
And
like,
you felt
the
official.
socks and and you're
you
like,
wear that all day, every
That shit every
day.
day, and you're man. I'm a footballer. Like,
Yeah.
man, that's the first. I'm sure that was probably everyone out here. The first thing when I was winning, I want to be a footballer. I wanna
Yeah,
play
no
for
doubt,
Arsenal,
no
or
doubt.
whatever. Yeah, your team, bro. And that's what it is. You walk in and you're just like, yeah. You play World Cup. I'm England. You go to school, or I'm Italy, or this. Oh, I'm Roberto Baggio. I'm Pele. That's who we are, innit? The stars of we imitate the stars that we see.
Yeah, there
on
was
this thing.
superheroes. That's
Yeah.
how Ryan put it. There was superheroes to that.
Yeah,
And I probably that's how I support what I support. Don't want to say again.
We're gonna go into that chapter.
Yeah.
We're gonna turn that page.
Yeah, shame
You know what
on
I'm saying?
bro.
Why the
Shame
beautiful game?
But it's
Why? Why did you still? Do you still want to?
It's the super.
Why do you still support them?
superhero mentality that got me to support who I support?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because I as you say, just Armando. Everyone wanted to be him. Every kid wanted to be Armando. Wanted to be a 10.
Diego.
Jeez,
You wanted
man.
to.
Let's take inspiration from where you've led us to. Before we talk about the football teams who we will support, let's talk about the player or players who connected you to the sport that we still love. Why the beautiful game? Jose, who was the player, or who were the players?
So for me, I think as a kid, of course,
inspired you to
Armando
love the
was
game.
a superhero. Like,
Diego.
even
And what
today,
was it about him? Because I think we all share.
Because I think where
love for
where
Diego.
I'm from, probably when you're born in Highbury and all that, all the kids, especially from our culture, we love the skills. We get into that emotional kind of thing. We're not really like the way we play football. It's a straight game. You just want to be able to do tricks and all that. And for me, no one would have done it better than him.
And like T.J. was saying, you know, the imagination of a child
Yeah.
is expansive. So when we see a player just moving as if he is part of a computer game experience,
Exactly.
your mind is
Because that's how we used to
mesmerized.
play football. It wasn't. We were not playing football because we're thinking of money or anything. When you're young at that age,
Nah.
you don't
It's
look.
the
You
glory,
want to be a
man.
footballer, but you don't even know how to get there.
Yeah.
But in your mind, you want to be. And I think Maradona was like the superhero
he personified it.
for us. Yeah, exactly. And then the other players that brought me to my team were 3 players. Do you know what I mean? John Barnes. I've never seen anyone
So
like
we
that.
already have an insight.
He's a boiler,
Into
though.
who he supports.
He's a
John
boiler.
Barnes, you know what I mean? And the 2 white boys, that was Peter Beardsley and Ian
The
Rush.
chin.
Boom. For me, those are the players.
Is Rush the all-time goal scorer?
Yeah, he still is, man, for
Is it?
Liverpool.
Oh,
Yeah, he
not
still
Fowler,
is.
no?
No, not Fowler, no.
Oh.
Rush is still, man. No one go to his number. Other players, I think they would have got there, but for some reason they started to go down to get
Fernando, innit, bro? Was one
to
of
that. Fernando
them,
would have.
Yeah.
Suarez would have, because they were just on different level. And Salah can. if he
Technically,
played- yeah,
they were
but he was a
advanced.
monster. Like, but for me,
Who?
Rush, and he was just a monster in scoring goals. It's just
And the Uruguayan is a monster because he bites people.
he's in a different way.
literally is.
Him is. he's
So,
good.
so since we're talking about your team,
Yeah.
you may as well just proceed. Why Liverpool? Can you remember the day, the moment? Was it an individual, an uncle, a family member?
You know-
Did you see them on television?
You know what?
Why did
Because
you
them
support
days it
Liverpool?
was called the league or the English league, and when we were young, that's how it was.
Division One.
Yeah, Division 1. Yeah. And I used to see John Barnes walking it. Like, you remember he used to wear a little band even on his head.
Yeah.
I was looking for that just to be, but I've never. And to be honest with you as well, he's the black player amongst the white player.
You're taking us down some
Yeah,
very
I-
important
for me at
Topic
that time,
roads.
innocent kid in Africa, didn't really think about racism. I didn't know what he was going through.
Same
I
here.
didn't think none of that. So for me, it was
looks
pure.
like me,
So
yeah.
when you asked me why I support Liverpool, it was purely football. I didn't even know that you have like most fans come from Liverpool. That's how I didn't know. Me, I was
Very
just,
popular team. I'm also
Exactly.
from Africa, as
Yeah.
I've mentioned, and Liverpool at that time, you know, in the first few years of my existence.
And it's crazy.
What
There
a
wasn't
team.
no uncle. There was no dad. My dad was an Arsenal fan. I don't know what happened there. But but the thing
We'll
is,
see what you have to say about that in a
But the
minute.
thing is, it's
What
like
went wrong,
I
eh?
found out later on in life, when I started to understand football on the highest level.
I don't know about that.
No, but
These
he's,
Liverpool fans over here.
But just to understand the game, that's when I realized my other four brothers, two oldest and one of the youngest,
Yeah.
we're all Liverpool fans, but we never talked about
Wow.
it. I never knew.
So it actually strengthened your
I never
the
knew.
siblings.
I never knew. So for
That's
me,
beautiful.
just watching Liverpool play, John Barnes, Ian
Fantastic.
Rush, I was sold.
Yeah.
Talk about the importance of black players. I'm sure you can jump in. I know for me, as similar to you, when I was in Africa, we didn't have to think about racism, especially in the body of a child. Obviously, the older you grow,
Yeah, you
you know,
start to understand.
colonialism is not too distant from most of the post-colonial societies. I grew up in one, but in terms of just literal experiences where racism is coming at you, in the context of a London or out of London experience, black people are dealing with it. It's raw. So coming to London, seeing people like Barnes, seeing people like Ian Wright, Fashanu, and obviously the Cameroon team, as I mentioned earlier, it gave me a sense of pride. You know, being from Africa, missing Africa, seeing those players did something for me. For you individuals, why the beautiful game is the question. So in the context of that beautiful game experience, what did black players mean to you as black boys
I
watching
think
the game?
now, actually, I appreciate it more because now I understand what they were going through. Do you know what I mean? Because even coming to this country, that's when I started to kind of like, I'm like, this is hard. This is like,
Because racism hits you in the face. You're not ready for it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even black boys who grow up here,
grew up-
you know what I'm saying?
exactly, yeah. So
when it does get you,
when you
when it
start
grips
to like,
you,
why?
it's
like,
shocking.
He plays football. Do
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yeah.
Everyone loves the game.
But that sense of pride
Exactly.
that Ian Wright gave me,
So Ian Wright and the same
was
thing.
fundamental.
I didn't know Ian's Wright story until I started to, and I'm like, yo, he made it, but that was hard.
yeah, and a lot of black supporters
Yeah.
actually came to Arsenal because of Ian Wright's visibility.
100%.
John Barnes the same.
John
A lot
exactly,
of
yeah.
Africans and black
Yeah,
people
no,
across the world
In general, yeah.
supported Liverpool just because of his appearance,
Yeah.
and then obviously his wonderful ability with the ball. And all of these players that we're talking about were black and exceptionally good with the ball. You know,
Do you know what I mean?
Well, 100%. Yeah, like I say, for me, again, growing up in Highbury, Arsenal fan, like, yeah.
There you
the
go.
first-
There you go. Why the beautiful
Had to
game?
get in.
He couldn't wait. He couldn't wait.
Well, I grew up in the
been
one
wanting
nil
to
to
get
the
that out.
Arsenal anyway. So it wasn't beautiful
George
them
Graham
times
days.
there.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the first player I learned of was Pele, because you know.
Let's talk about Pele.
Yeah.
When you talk about the skill and stuff, and this the beautiful Brazil team and all that. That's I've gone out with that.
1970.
Yeah, like I don't even remember the year. I just remember like my uncle telling me Pele and telling me that's football. This is how football should be played.
Yeah.
So my
Your
idea, that's
uncle
what
was
the
right.
football. It's the skills and all that. It's the it's the flamboyancy.
Brilliant.
It's beating your man 1-on-1. It's having control of the ball, making the ball do what you want it to
And that's
do.
an
Do you know what
African
I mean?
way.
So,
That is black culture.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
flamboyance,
that's how we
that
are.
skill.
Yeah.
I think it's naturally. It's just naturally in us because in the neighborhood when you play and all that, that's what it is. It's about being your thing and
doubt.
doing really the beating you.
Free,
But
yeah.
but having the skill and all that. You can just score a goal, but you got to
way
beat
you
your
do
man,
it.
bro. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Really just bang it in, like, you know what I mean? This ain't
Exactly, and I think that's why, like, I feel like we play culture-wise, we play with style, finesse, and skills, and that's the game you want to see. And I think for me, the English game, which is changing now, not gonna go deep, but I think they've started to embrace that side. I think that side of it. And I think that's why they haven't been, doing really well, because they're not embracing that side of football where you're allowing kids to be free. But now they've started to appreciate it, and we've seen it recently. Do you know what I mean? They wanted Euros recently. You saw Foden came in the first game. I probably was his man. And then Saka comes on, he changed, and everyone's like, he needs to play.
Yeah.
Well, Saka, for me, like, I'm not even being biased or nothing, but just from the England game, I know Saka was the only one really that was in the initial stages. Like, Sterling came into his own and warmed up, but in the first few games, Saka was the only one that was really taking on his man, turning on, beating, moving forward.
He was driving the play forward at all times.
Yeah, he was, and so he had to play, and it's a shame on Foden, but it's good for Saka.
Credit to Saka.
No, but Saka is but that's what we were going back to emotion and all that. I can see Saka in me, like, playing football.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, just
Do
play.
you know what I mean? With freedom. He's not worried about, like, he's
fearless.
Exactly. He's only 19. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't have any pressures. When people, like, when you even hear him talking, you can relate. You like, which you never used to have before, because Ian Wright never really, do you know what I mean? Very talented goal scorer, and then he gets to England and it doesn't happen. But I think it's got to do with all that, what we're talking about.
There was a lot of that back in as well, because I remember the conversations about them time, because for me, like, there was a lot of times like, Sutton, Shearer and Sheringham. And for me, like, I was like, all right, Shearer, I understand.
Yeah.
Sutton, Sheringham maybe, because he's positioning and all that, but you got Andy Cole, Ian Wright.
Yeah.
Even Ferdinand.
Rocastle.
That's what I was going to get to.
Peace.
Rocastle was like my
Ferdinand as well.
Rocastle and Tony Adams, but we get that's like Arsenal thing. But you could have had them, but you took something, and then there's like it's a bit dodgy, man. I was like, but I don't want to see, because I wasn't brought up to look like that, and all that, but it kind of.
But it was.
It causes you to ask questions.
It's like, why these are our best players, man.
Now you're mentioning the names. Can you believe
Ian Wright and Andy Cole.
Their plays?
And then, but then, like, again, like, my brothers will know, like, because I always, like, the only black player they put in there is Carlton Palmer, brother. No disrespect to him.
Yeah.
He's a proper.
The ball used to just bounce 10 miles off, and the guy had no control.
You know why?
It was just.
Graham Taylor was the coach who would select him.
He was playing total English football.
Yeah,
like, that talk football. That's how I felt with Palmer, man. He didn't feel he played like proper talk football.
And that's a very good topic right there, because going back to Brazil, 58 and onwards is when the Brazilian game changed. They lost the World Cup in 50, and a lot of black players were not
being
playing in that team. And once you had Garrincha, Pelé, and that 1962 team who won the World Cup, and obviously 1970, it's those black players that really solidified the identity, of the way that team plays. And I think the black players in this country who weren't selected were definitely they didn't allow England to progress. And you can imagine the limits that have been placed over this country in terms of football success because of that denial. If Wright would have played, if Andrew Cole would have played, if Sancho would have played more. And going back to, we talked about Saka's attributes, and I said, I used the word fearless. I think Sancho is the same. We often talk in the chat forum, the FutiTalk chat forum, that with Sancho, he still plays, as you kept on bringing reference to the streets. He still plays. Kweku often talks about Sancho, another FutiTalk member. It's like he's still in the cage. He's still playing street football. And I love to see it. Going back to what you're talking about, being imaginative on the world stage. And he's just
because the
playing so well.
The Bayern, what's his name, Can, the goalkeeper, Bayern, because now he's part of the board.
Oliver Kahn.
Oliver Kahn, and he was saying he can't believe Sancho's not playing in England, because he will be playing for Germany.
Most people outside of this country are thinking these thoughts.
And you know what? We were talking about going back to culture there. These are the first boys that have, you know what, if I'm not going to go get playing, I'll go out the country. How many English
which is
players
what
have
they've
gone
done.
out to play football?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And they're making their name in Germany. And I'm really I'm impressed with Sancho and Bellingham, those boys.
Bellingham, wow, I wish the guys...
He's playing
see
for
when he plays.
Dortmund, and then is it Tomori?
Tomori played for AC Milan.
AC,
Yeah.
I think he signed permanently for them.
Oh,
I'm
is
not
it?
too sure.
I think he should, because for me,
Left back?
I think he's centre back. He plays centre back for
Yeah,
them.
because I feel like a lot of young English footballers, they end up going to teams where they're not even going to play football. Do you know what I mean? Because there's a lot of money involved, and there's a lot of them involved, and Arsenal was part of that as well.
But this is an issue that goes back years.
All the way
Cunningham,
back. Yeah.
one of the
another
best
one.
players to play the game.
Yeah.
He played for clubs outside of this country, Madrid. There's one a Classico game which is talked about
From the corner,
where he was just marvelous. You know, rest in peace to Cunningham. And then you can talk about Des Walker. He played in Italy.
Paul Elliott as well.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
And I think for me, more players need to go at experience, have that experience when you're young. Because when you look at all the teams who are the best football teams, Brazil, they play everywhere. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're gonna mix their exciting, football. They land on the beach, and then they're gonna get to hear properly coached kind of football, put it together. They're gonna kick everyone. They're gonna take. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think though, sorry to cut you. So I think that's been to Brazil's downfall now, because there's too many of their players playing Europe now.
yeah.
Like who's the guy that used to play for Werder Bremen, and he's the defensive midfielder. He weren't even known in Brazil. Like, he's a Brazilian.
Yeah.
Louis something or something. Remember he played for, I think, Werder Bremen.
Yeah.
Wicked midfielder.
Yeah,
Never even played in Brazil, bro. He played and like
Yes, some of their
They had
mash up their thing, bro.
Brazil, I think they suffer with that because they have loads of players. Because even right now, I don't know how Fabinho doesn't play for Brazil, and Fred plays. I don't know about it.
and then you have players like Thiago.
Yeah, still playing. Yeah. Thiago Alcantara.
Which is another subject.
Yeah.
Players
Playing
who
for Spain.
could be playing for Brazil, but they're
Brazil,
playing.
They play
you
for other
know,
countries,
European countries. So that's another reason why they're not flourishing as well as they could, because they're
Japanese
losing
guy.
football resources.
Remember Alex, bro? Remember the World Cup? It's like, Kagawa and Yoshima.
And then Alex, Brazilian plays for
Sorry.
Brazil.
Yeah, no. But I mean, Brazil still producing
They're still producing
a plethora of talent.
footballers,
You know what
man.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
But yeah, why the beautiful game? It gives you an opportunity to express your emotions, and your culture is not detached
Exactly.
from the experience.
Yeah.
What did Liverpool do for you as a child? What did Arsenal do for you as a child? Those 11 men on that field. How did that shape?
Before we do, you mind Mr. Futi Talk? We want to know what's your team, man.
But
Before we move on.
Before we talk about our successes and stuff like that. So yeah, you need to.
We've won an abundance of FA Cups, League Cups. Not won as many league trophies as these two clubs, but we have won league titles. We've won European trophies, UEFA
Trophies.
Cups. Yeah, we have. Yeah, you haven't done the history.
Trophy or
No,
trophy?
trophies. Yeah.
Okay.
2 UEFA Cups, 1 Cup Winners' Cup. Yeah, we won that. Yeah,
What's the
Tottenham
team?
Hotspur, first team from this country to actually win European trophies. You know what I mean? So we led everybody. First team to win the league and cup double. It's the club that gave you Glenn Hoddle, one of the best players to ever. And you know the English footballer, the English footballer traditionally isn't looked at as Glenn Hoddle was viewed.
You know
what I'm saying? Chris
He
Waddle,
was ahead of his time.
technical
man. Ahead
player
of his time.
again.
But he didn't play a lot because he was technically good. And because they never really liked those kind
Yeah,
of
I don't
players.
think they used him well,
they
but he
couldn't.
was in that game against
why
Diego
he got to
Maradona,
Yeah.
1986 World Cup. But
yeah.
he didn't shine. Other players, I've already said Chris Waddle.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? So
Well, you
ballers.
got Bell,
Yeah.
he's done really done.
Yeah,
he's
but
done bad.
that's the identity of
Do you know what I mean?
Tottenham Hotspur. So for me, as a young child coming from Africa, and I fell in love with the game back home
Yeah.
because in Africa we love the game. It's spiritual for us, and this country furthered my experience. But yeah, the 1990 World Cup was happening. I saw what Lineker was doing. And I chose Tottenham Hotspur, and
Lineker was.
Yeah, I love the way that Spurs play. Obviously, we need to win more. You know what I mean? But when you choose your team, it's
you don't need to win. You're doing just fine, bro.
and Arsenal are doing even better. You know what I'm saying? I know Prime is coming up with the documentary shortly, so we're all gonna be looking forward to watching that. You know what I mean?
typical to try and
But
Tottenham was in our shadow, and then we follow them with this documentary stuff. Why did Amazon want to do two teams that are going to win nothing? Like, it's just ridiculous, bro. Like, we're a banter club already. Now we're just gonna be more jokes. Now everyone's talking about it.
I think it's like I think now football teams, they'll just maximise any income coming in, and if Amazon comes in with a couple mils after the lockdown, you'll be like, all right, I'll give you access to it.
I'm still gonna be watching though. I'm intrigued.
Nah.
But I'm intrigued. I always like to know what happens behind the scenes, the organisation, the psychology of the.
You know what? I was thinking about
Arsenal fans. Make sure you watch that documentary.
I was thinking about the Man City one, and I can just imagine Arteta just copying, trying to do watching the Man City one.
But
it doesn't work.
Nah, because it's gonna be that documentary. You're gonna see the football. He's already done for the sacking of Arteta. 100%.
Context is always important. The setting, the entire story. Obviously, before we started filming, we talked about Liverpool. They didn't have a season that emulated the season before, but we know the history of Liverpool. Arsenal, okay, you're not experiencing good times at the moment, but this is the team that was led by Wenger to interrupt Man United's dominance.
And he did.
When I was a child, I remember Arsenal winning the league. Alan Smith as their striker before Wright came in and took over. 89, they snatched the title from a dominating
the
Liverpool
greatest
team.
game
so
in
history's
the
important.
history of football.
Fortunately for me, I did see Spurs win trophies before this barren spell. You know what I mean? But the history is important, and I want this show to really project that history. That's why I'm happy that you brought up Brazil, because that's a defining way of seeing the game. I see the game through the lens of the Brazilian perspective.
And it's really sad that we didn't really see Pele quite a lot.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because there's no footage, there's no. You know what I mean?
There is.
Have
you seen the Netflix documentary?
I've seen it, but it's
Watch
still,
it now.
Yeah, it's still because it's like
it's out there.
It's out there because going back to what football didn't have color, man. That's why you support Armando and all that, because everyone was saying Pele's the king of football, but
we never saw him.
Do you know what I mean? Even a little bit. Do you know what I mean? But with Armando 86, even today, the stuff he done and it just, in my eyes, he's the best footballer of all time.
He's my favorite, but I have no problem with giving 100%. Pele the crown. But Diego's my favorite.
Pele at that time, he was doing things they've never seen before.
Yeah, definitely.
Do you know what I mean? And I think that's why he became the king of football, because he was doing things they've never seen before.
Yeah, he introduced the brand of football.
And then Amanda came in and he took football to another level, because
could get the ball off him
exactly
and things like that, and just
and let me say this, going back to what we were talking about when we're saying emotions. As a child, when Cameroon won, what that did for me, it literally made me feel calm. You know what I'm saying? I told you, I just arrived in the country, and even today, when I see Omambik rising, that aerial ability, and Pompidou couldn't even handle it, and it was a delicate header. Cross came in. My big rises.
But can I be controversial about that game? I would support Argentina because
I was about to say I was supporting Argentina. I was
seriously.
At that time, I wasn't a Diego fan.
Is it?
No, I wasn't.
I
would learn of him. That was my introduction.
I think probably I cried him not, but he got kicked.
And Cameroon went down to 9 men, I believe, and they still lost. And Cameroon could have scored more goals.
After that, go back to support Cameroon. Do you know what I mean? But
that Argentinian team was a team admired by many.
One of the best football teams.
And they had a lot of the players from the 86 team. There were a few. Who was the keeper? Goycochea, because I think Pompidou, he was injured in the group stages, and then Goicoechea came in. There was some other new faces. Canija, because Claudio wasn't in the '86.
Yeah, I always thought Khadija was 94, to be honest.
Yeah, 90.
I remember 94.
No,
I didn't know
he came in on 90, and then I think by 90.
He did play in the 94 team, by the way.
He did
but it was Balbo and Batistuta.
Yeah,
They were the central strikers.
Batigo,
Redondo was also in that team.
Redondo, yeah.
He used to play Madrid at that time.
Yeah, well, we know what he did to United famously.
He got that beautiful left foot, man.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
definitely.
We miss those kind of players, man. Because right now you look around the world of football, look those kind of midfielders that can play box to box. Maybe Pile's the last one that's still been doing that.
Kante is.
But Kante is
He can go everywhere.
Kante is a different.
He's a controller of the game as well.
I think
Pogba can be a box to box.
I head like 10 times than any other player.
He's this little guy running in and just taking the ball off you, bro. It's
Phenomenal.
Just mad, bro.
Phenomenal, man. That boy, any team he plays in can win stuff.
Yeah.
We could have got him. What, 35.
could have got everybody.
It said we paid 35 million for Xhaka, bro.
Together the team they would have got.
Anyway, you got Arteta.
The nearly team, They could have got Arsenal 11.
So 2 more questions before we bring this to a close. I was just asking you about Liverpool, Arsenal, why the beautiful game, over the years. Just take us through some thoughts. Why did they captivate you? Any other reasons in addition to the ones you've given? You can bring forth just to inspire us about your adhesive
it was my team,
connectivity
innit?
to your club.
It's my team, It's just gone. Like I say, grew up around Highbury, went to school in Highbury. I had to support Arsenal.
Some loyalty there.
I ain't gonna lie. If I didn't grow up in Highbury, I'd probably be a Liverpool fan. So I'm grateful that I grew up in Highbury.
I would have been an Arsenal fan because I've always been surrounded.
Oh, by Arsenal fan.
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Like you said, I think a lot. Definitely, I remember it. Like, when Ian Wright came, we had Ian Wright.
That's a
Kevin
game changer.
Campbell. Yeah, that was. I remember the day we signed. Everyone's in the next playground. Like, everyone was Ian Wright, bruv, and like. I remember the white guy getting some white boys like, I'm Ian Wright.
Yeah, right. You're not.
You got to be Ian Wright. Like, do you know what I mean? It was like the
you know what? That's the game does to you.
Yeah,
you don't see
like,
this. Do you know what I mean? Because I'm at the amount of time I thought if I score a goal and it look like Ian Rush, I'm Ian Rush that day. I didn't even think about it. If I do some tweaks and just not make people, I'm John Barnes. You know what I mean? If I go out and do a nice cross on the right, I'm Peter Beardsley. So for me, depending on how I'm playing that day, I can be a different. I didn't think about it in colour. So
I mean, for us, the recipients of racism, we don't carry hatred in our bodies. It's those who hate us.
Exactly.
Who see that distinction, but because they see that distinction, we have to love ourselves and we have to see our color for loving reasons. But it doesn't detach us from Cruyff or Van Basten. You know what I'm saying? We admire these players, but obviously when we see Hullet, when we see Romario, when we see Rivaldo, we feel that sense of pride.
Man.
Romario is just my favorite player as a child. Any words about Liverpool before I move on to the final question?
For me, with Liverpool, I always go back to in what you say, emotional game. When you're a kid and you connect with a team, you're done. Do you know what I mean? When I connect with Liverpool, I didn't see anything else. All I want to see is the Reds. Do you know what I mean? I used to be like, if the times where they change jerseys.
Yeah. What you doing? Yeah.
And I think if I was born in this country, I think I would have been an Arsenal fan.
Okay. You must feel good about these words.
Yeah. So
I could have been an Arsenal fan. He could have been an Arsenal fan.
But
thank the football gods, we are not Arsenal fans. You know what I mean?
There you go.
I would have been. And when I came to the country, like, who do you support? Liverpool. Everyone was an Arsenal fan. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I understood why it was more with Arsenal. You had something connected.
The third most successful club
and the
in this country,
where the football team is as well.
The third, yeah.
So.
Bronze medal,
because like you can always tell the generation, like amongst black people, what they grew up. The black people that they grew up in '80s were Liverpool. The '90s ones are a mixture. Early 90s, late 80s, early 90s were kind of Arsenal, and then
Chelsea.
Man United.
The 2000s.
So the 90s to the 2000s is Man United. Yeah, then the
Glory Hunters.
Chelsea.
Came
in like a wave.
I see no Chelsea. The only Chelsea fan I knew was that little youth that lived Like with my nan, she lived in Clapham, and
Do you know what I mean?
it was some guy in Chelsea trying to make me.
Because their stadium and cars parked behind the goal post.
Yeah, they were rubbish. The rubbish team, they nothing, bro.
Abramovich.
Abramovich come, but
No, but even years before him, you know, they were building.
Yeah, they had
the days
things.
of Hoddle.
But they wouldn't have been where they are if they didn't
Zola.
have the money injection and all
that helps.
But you put it right, it's generational. And now my nephew, like, we try to impose his dad in Liverpool. We try to impose it. My boy,
Chelsea or City, innit?
No, he's a City fan. Yeah.
No, it's City, innit?
City fan. Top to bottom, he's a City fan. De Bruyne fan. Styling. Don't mention Liverpool, man.
Okay. Let's talk about footy talk.
Yeah.
So why the beautiful game? As I've said, as you said, as you have said, you know, culture, emotions, the ability to look at players as if they are heroes. Football fathered us. You know what I'm saying? It guided us. I think football kept us away from distractions. It gave us a focus.
Yeah, it does.
And for me, footy talk is no different to the football experience in that it emulates life itself.
Boom,
It emulates life itself. When we gather on that pitch and we play the game, we express our humanity in ways that, as I said, are not detached from what we would do in everyday life. One of the slogans at Footy Talk is we share the ball to keep the ball.
Yeah.
So the ability to share. One of my favorite football teams is the Brazilian team of 1982, and their manager said, get to know each other on the pitch.
Yeah.
So when I'm sharing that ball, I know you're going to bring it back to me. So, you know, another slogan is the vibes before football. So not only what happens before the game, but we believe in vibes before we play the beautiful game. And even when people are watching us here, we're trying to emphasize that social organization. So both of you have experienced football at Footy Talk and life at Footy Talk. What can you say about what you've experienced and the potential for what Footy Talk can do to answer social needs through the gaze, the lens, and the way of the beautiful game?
I would say, like, the way I got hooked up with my football team is the same thing I hooked up with Footy Talk. The first day I came down, I became a Footy Talk. Do you know what I mean? They're playing the actual game or not, Footy Talk. Do you know what I mean? And I've had this, the other day my nephew called me, the youngest, is like, are you going to that side of football where we used to go? Say he came twice, but he's hooked as well because it's beyond just the game.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's a community, and to me, I have to give you that. Do you know what I mean? You need them flowers when you're still here.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I mean?
And the grapes
because
as well,
no doubt.
I don't know
apples,
if you
mangoes.
you knew what you were starting, but it's gone beyond you. Probably you knew this. It's there's so many people we talk on the chat I've never met, but you feel connected. Probably if you met them face to face, it will be a continuation of a conversation where lads introducing each other.
And today
Like,
is
same
the
thing
outcome
today,
of that because
I've seen
T.Jay and
online.
Hosea
Do you know what I mean? But
haven't interacted.
exactly. So it's,
in each other's presence.
Footy Talk is beyond anyone, and it's a community, and a community raises everyone. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So
It reminds me as well, it's like it's the old fashioned thing, like I know, like, obviously, hold on, I want to, like, back in the day, like, everything was all, like,
Back
beautiful.
in the day when I was young,
I'm not a kid anymore. But no, it's, again,
Sankofa, West African dialect, means to retrieve. You know, we can't
retrieve.
go forward without looking back and reclaiming
Yeah.
the valuable elements. You know what I'm saying? Who am I without my mother and father? They brought me forth.
Yeah.
So what is in the past is actually a timeless and classic way of looking at life. So not everything is washed up.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
no, for real. And like I said, it's an Arsenal motto as well, forward as well. So, you know what I mean? That's in you there, bro. So, but now I know, like you said, there's a community. It's like, you know, it's for all. There's no like biasness. All ages are there, bro.
Yeah.
All ages are present, man. And you know, they've they've got a place where they can play football safely, learn the game. Maybe and they're probably more advanced because they're learning from older people. They're probably getting their tactical knowledge and their view and their output of the game more advanced than people at their schools or whatever, unless they go into an academy. But from what I understand, sometimes academies just teach you out of football. Whereas I think footy talk will teach you into. I believe that academies where they can teach you out of football, man. Footy talk, they teach you in football, and they develop the skills and they develop the skills and the passion for the game and help you keep that. You know what I mean? So
beautiful.
It's a beautiful thing. And then the banter, banter is classic. It's a bit anti-Arsenal, but what can we say, man? There's enough of us in there.
Fans think that.
There's enough of us in there to back
play
it,
better.
Man. We need
and
to
we
back
will
it
not
up
disrespect
a bit
you.
You know what I mean? But
loads of headaches, isn't it?
it's all beautiful, man. I love it.
You have Arsenal fans in there. You're not alone. I'm the only Tottenham guy, apart from Micah. You know what I'm saying? But you have Uncle Virgil, you have Lindo.
Yeah.
Abolade.
Talk about other teams. Talk about
Arsenal fans. Yeah.
But it's
this is the chat forum. Every day, all day, we're talking to each other, and it's an amazing world of written and audible plus visual engagement. So and if you don't access Footy Talk on the football field, you can access Footy Talk here on the Talk Footy show. In addition to that, we have the chat forum and a plethora of ways, and that's what I love about what we have here.
100%, bro, 100%. And like you said, it breaks news, man. It's you're getting all the memes, bro. Ash is the meme master at them thing there, and
big up to Ashim, the producer of both of the Footy Talk anthems. You're definitely gonna produce.
I'm gonna do one
of those Footy Talk anthems. You know what I mean? Producer over here.
In that space of Footy Talk, we just there to enjoy the game.
It's a family.
It's a family.
And we're very deliberate
Do you know
about
what I mean?
that.
Yeah.
Footy Talk is a global vision.
Exactly.
And global, not only in the sense that we're going to take it to geographical spaces, but look at the different nations where our members originate from. Your country is. Where do you come from, my brother?
So, listen, I'm multinational, man.
Tell us.
I'm a citizen of the Mother Nature.
It's a country within itself. My man said Mother Nature.
But,
where the flag? Where's the flag of that? My flag is the sky. It's the sunshine. It's the clouds. It's the ocean.
The trees. You know what I mean?
I think my origin is I'm Rwandan.
Beautiful.
But born in Uganda.
Fantastic.
And then now British.
Yeah.
So that's
one of the
smart,
world,
yeah.
bro.
Tell us about
I'm part of the world, yeah.
your family heritage
me?
geographically.
I'm English. My mum parents are English, and then my other side is from Jamaica. So
Another talented football nation.
yeah, man. Like you're trying to get Greenwood, and
not
should have
gonna
got
happen.
Sterling, Max Aarons, man, all
Yeah.
that, But yeah, we would rule the world, man. You know what I mean? We'd win the World Cup if
Listen,
we had that thing.
the islands, if they put together Tim, like if everyone went back to their roots, they would have an amazing team.
I think Antonio chose to play for Jamaica.
Yeah, Antonio plays.
I rate him.
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah.
But if you look at all that, John Burns as well, could have played for Jamaica. Raheem.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Definitely.
kids
Talented nation.
Yeah, talent nation.
and
Small by producing some amazing football.
Big up to Jamaica. Gave us Garvey, gave us
As you
Bob,
can see.
gave us Raheem, gave us T.J. You know what I mean?
Well, Leon Bailey as well got big bad man.
Yeah, man. Do you know what I mean?
So yeah, Footy Talk is global, as I said, because of the different nationalities that come together. But we want to take Footy Talk to the world and talk
of course.
footy as a show. We'll be in Hawaii. We'll be in Algeria. We will be in Cairo. We will be in
the home.
China. We will be in Harare. We will be in Rwanda. And to be honest, what I'm
all
really
them things, them.
intentional about is taking Footy Talk to the places where you were born, where your people come from, and you play a central role when we are there in introducing this society, this community, this organization of people who are using the sport of football to develop personal attributes. Where we play every Saturday in Kennington, we're going to do that in Kumasi. We're going to do that in Kinshasa.
amazing,
We're going to do that in Sao Paulo. And I believe that the wealthy clubs will come to us. My dream is not to play footy talk in Old Trafford. They will knock on our doors because they'll see what we are doing to empower people.
Yeah.
My interest is to take football to the beach, take football to the hood, take football to concrete spaces, places that are not thought about when it comes to wealth, when it comes to creativity. Yet it is these places are where you will find the Michael Jordans and the Tupac Shakurs and all of these people that we've been talking about. So I'm really passionate about reaching the neglected, reaching the masses, and then everybody else will ask us, how did you do it? You know what I'm saying? And that's one of my passions. That's my motivation. So we're doing it. We're going to do it. You know what I'm saying?
100%, man. It's gonna happen, man.
And it's happening already.
It's
happening already. You know what I'm saying? What we're doing. And as you said before, I appreciate your words of affirmation when crediting me for the football experience. I'm one who knows that the idea of FutiTalk was put into me. I've started to drive this vehicle, and it's grown.
It's grown
because of
exponentially,
the additional beings who have come to join me. And we are now driving this vehicle together. I'm very much about the egalitarian system. I'm very much about a shared, progressive way of winning. And I love football teams who played like that. The Dutch team of 74, Liverpool team of the 80s, the Arsenal team under Wenger. These teams played together. The Brazilian team of 82, and FutiTalk is about that. So I know that you have added to FutiTalk. Jose, you have added to FutiTalk. T.J., you know what I'm saying? So, I thank you for being reciprocal. So let's inspire people with this more than football. People first.
Exactly.
Yeah, man.
Mechanism. That is FutiTalk.
The thing is, if you tap into that energy, you're going to bring that energy. Do you know what I mean?
No
so
doubt.
we all tapped into the footy energy that you put out there.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's attracting all the energy we do have. And it's all, good energy.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And as has been said, sorry to cut you. Go on.
No.
And as has been said, how it's impacting children.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
And I think
girls
that's really
and
important. That's a
elders that come.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
I still just say there's range in, like, when you calm down, you got people of all ages and all that, and that really helps anyone in the middle from the bottom to
Arsenal
the top.
fans can come and after they've lost the game, they can feel better.
Yeah. We could,
Oh, give me a dot. You can give me a dot.
I ain't no doubt.
I'm used to it.
I need no doubt, man. It's like, man, the dust on your trophy cabinet is
There's
enough
nothing to
pain
dust,
enough.
isn't it?
It just, man.
Nothing to dust.
You need some Consuelo with 11 pledge, man. That's what you need, man. That's what you
Liverpool
need to
buy
sign.
trophies nowadays. Yeah, they buy trophies. And Arsenal run out of money.
We have money, but we just don't want to spend it, man. And, the nearly team nearly
you
have
spend
this
it,
player.
and then I don't know what happens, man. You buy William.
William.
We could have nearly signed Camavinga, but
Arsenal could have signed everybody.
Listen, players
be,
would
man.
have been.
Yeah.
Yo, Arteta, man, just get Camavinga, man, please, bro. He's a baller, man. He's spending 50 million on Ben White. You need a midfielder. Get Camavinga,
you're
please,
listening,
bro. I'm
Arteta,
begging you. Hear my
TJ's
pain, bro.
talking.
Come on, man.
You know what I'm saying?
But that's why
Yeah,
I mean, that's something. It's and they're still doing it. Someone has to put a stop when it comes to English players. They put a price. It's double price. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think most of the teams will love to have these English players because they're good. But when you go to price wise, it just because for me Ben White is a good defender, but he's not a 50 million defender.
To be fair, I've not really known. I didn't notice him. I've not really
He's
seen
a
it.
baller,
So
man.
I've heard he's good, but
I've
he's
seen
50 million
every
good,
time they play, I've seen him. He's good on the ball.
Yeah.
He reached the game. He's still young, and that's why. If Arsenal buys him, I think will be one of the best defenders we've bought in the last 10 years.
There you go.
Okay, wicked. Well,
I'll put my hand out there to say that because he's really. The only thing is he gonna have the right people around him
yeah, to back him up,
to
to
back
think,
him
yeah.
up? Because it doesn't matter if you're good and all that, but if you don't have the right people around you, I don't know if he's a leader.
Okay,
but
we'll find
definitely
out now,
we'll
boy.
find
He's
out.
been jacking the deep
As you said, the right people around you, environment is everything. And that's what Footy Talk is.
Do that, man.
This is Talk Footy. And in shows to come, we will definitely get into our clubs, analyze games that we've just watched, make our projections as the 2021 season, 2021-2022 season continues. But it's been a pleasure.
Been a pleasure.
This is our first Talk Footy show, Footy Talk, Talk Footy, in the name of Mike's. And it's been a pleasure.
It's been a
Why
pleasure.
the beautiful game? Because Footy Talk can be born out of the game that we loved when we were boys, and now as men, we're still connected, still joined at the hip of this sporting body, which is more than sport, it's life itself. So it's been a pleasure, brothers. I've enjoyed it. So if you live in London, come and join us in Kennington Park for 3 Saturdays within any given month. The last Saturday of every month, we take what is called Footy Talk in your neighborhood to new spaces. So if you have a pitch near you in a region that's far away from Kennington Park, contact us. You can DM us via Instagram. Just find us under the name Footy Talk. You can email us footytalk@gmail.com, and we'll come to you. That's Footy Talk in your neighborhood, where we expand the vision. But yeah, it's been a pleasure. I hope you've enjoyed it.
Footy talk, talk footy. War talk, Ricky hardcore, core dying. See the ball flying, both teams all lying. It's 5-1, come on guys, run. Wait, can I sky some?
We talk footy on the phone. Peace to Dave. I display this poem. Ceremonial accolades are the ways of going.